Wow, what a match, guys. What did we just witness? Absolutely enthralling encounter between South Africa and Pakistan. True T20 cricket was on display today. Um, and that's for me, that's not a big T20 cricket fan. I wasn't really looking forward to this game, to be honest with you. I mean, me personally, I was sitting here and I was like, we're going to have to cover another T20 game today. But this game was so entertaining. It was so great all around. I enjoyed this so much, and particularly because of the performances by George Linde today. I mean, wow. I mean, after we did that exclusive interview on the channel with him, talking to him about his career, talking to him about his non-selection before and being selected once again, why, what he was feeling, what he's feeling like, and what it took to get him to the stage, to get him back into the Proteas, into the mix with the Proteas. So this was just an absolutely fantastic performance today from him. David Miller as well, fantastic today with the bat. Those two guys really saved South Africa. Ultimately, they won the game for South Africa because we were finding ourselves in a very difficult position as this game went along. But we'll be talking about all of this on today's show, and I'm hoping that you guys are going to enjoy this one. It was a very good match, and it's by time that we won a T20 game. It hasn't been a lot. It hasn't been many times that we get situations like this where we're sitting here with a victory in a T20 in a white ball game, because Rob Walter hasn't really been that successful in bilateral series with the Proteas when it comes to white ball cricket. But today we're going to put that all behind us and we're going to try and enjoy this victory as much as possible. But before we get going, before we get started, there are a couple of things I'd like you guys to please do. First and foremost, subscribe to the channel. Click that notification bell for all future videos. Don't forget to also smash the like button and share this video with as many people as you can. Any South African cricket fans that you know, please share it with them. I'd also like you guys to please, when this video ends, when we end this stream, please go into the comment section and comment in the comment section below as well. It's very important that you guys do so because it really helps the channel out and it really helps us spread far and wide. And we want to grow the subscriber base over here at Cricket Fanatics Magazine. It's about time that we start getting the recognition for all the hard work that we put in as a community. Every single show we do, and I'm talking about you guys that join the show in the live chat. You are also a part of this because you guys make the show special. You guys are the ones that keep this show entertaining, because without your live chats, without your comments, the show could be quite boring ultimately. So it's all of us together, and we all are part of this, and this is our community. So let's grow it and grow it and grow it as far as we can. So please get involved there too. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. Morning, everybody, and welcome to Cricket Fanatics Magazine. This is your review show. I'm your host, Khalid Moidin, and this is the show where we talk about everything that happened between South Africa and Pakistan in that first T20 in Durban. There was a little bit of a scare. When I was sitting at the CSA Invitational game today, I was looking at the weather report, and it was looking like it was going to rain today in Durban, as it usually does. There was a 20% chance of rain, and it was overcast conditions. And you know that normally 20% rain in Durban is almost 100% basically, because there's days when there's no predicted rain and rain comes. But today, the weather gods were on South Africa's side because we needed to get some good, uh, I would say, good spirit back into the fan base when it comes to the white ball arena, because we haven't been that good in the white ball arena under Rob Walter. We haven't won many games. It's been very, very difficult. It's been very, very difficult for us as fans to watch and sit through the white ball games. But we did fantastically well today, and it's really going to lift the spirits of all of us and all of the that got to watch this game, and plus it was on SABC, so that makes it even better. So that means that more people saw this game, hopefully, all around the country, and particularly in the people that can't afford DSTV. It's important that they get to see this because it will obviously entice them to want to come down to the stadiums, and that's very important that we do so. It's a good start to the series because we are looking to get a 2-0 victory in the test arena. We only need to win one more game to qualify for that test championship final. That's because of the way things are going between Australia and India. So we need to make sure that we try and get a 2-0 victory as well, because it will just be even sweeter if we can do it that way, because then we are obviously putting it completely in our hands and making sure that we are the guys that deserve to be there. But let's not talk test cricket. Today is all about the T20 game. Today is all about the match, the first match between South Africa and Pakistan, and what a match we had on our hands today. So South Africa won the toss and they opted to bat first, and I was really happy about that, particularly with the batting lineup that we picked. There were a couple of issues with some players that would have been available but didn't have the opportunity to play this match because of maybe some niggles and late arrivals. So Bray Shamsi arrived too late to the camp for him to be able to start. And Anik Nokia had a bit of a toe issue, and that's why he couldn't play today's match. But he's in the squad. At least it's great to be able to see Anik Nokia again. That would be amazing if we can see him in the mix again in Proteas colours. It's been so long since last we've seen him play for South Africa. But the lineup was Reza Hendricks, Rassie van der Dussen, Matthew Breedsky, David Miller, Hendrik Klaasen, Donovan Ferreira, George Linde, Andile Samalani, Ngaba Peter, and Kwena Mapaka. A lot of these names we predicted, a lot of these names we wanted to see play anyway. So I was really happy with this lineup. It was normal for Ryan Rickelton not to be seen in this particular series based on the fact that this came off a test series, a grueling one. So we scored 100, so it was only the right thing to see someone else get an opportunity. And I was hoping that we were going to see Matthew Breedsky open the batting, but it was Reza and Rassie that opened the batting, and they didn't impress us at all today. Both of them never really came to the party. Reza Hendricks, 8 of 9 balls. He didn't get going at all and was bowled clean by Abrar Ahmad. And then, Rassie van der Dussen getting a first ball duck, bowled by Shaheen Shah Afridi. But it was more of a chop on because he tried to chase a little bit of a wider delivery. I don't understand why he's playing so far away from his body. He's experienced enough to know that he shouldn't be doing that. But he did it anyway, and he chopped it onto his stumps. And then Matthew Breedsky looked good, hitting a 6. But then, unfortunately, he lost his wicket. I mean, it's crazy to see that. You can. It's an error that he wouldn't have liked to see. Of course, it was. It was something that we were hoping, that he would come to the party and showcase his talent and show his class and all of those type of things. But unfortunately, that's not what happened. And we didn't get the innings from Matthew Breedsky that we'd liked. But it took a senior player, someone that looked really smiley at the pre-match interview, and it took someone like David Miller, a senior player in the side, to do what we expect from our senior players. We've been waiting for Miller time for quite some time for him to dominate an innings like this. And today came in at number 4. It's a position that many people would like to see him play actually in the future. I've seen a lot of people speak about it. And David Miller scored 82 of 40 balls, 4 fours, 8 sixes, a strike rate of 205. I mean, South Africa were in real big trouble. They were 28 for 3, and then he also lost Hendrik Klaasen, so we were 71 for 4. And then he lost Donovan Ferreira at 104 for 5. But David Miller pushed on. He took us from 28 for 3 right up until 135 for 6 before he lost his wicket. And then it was open because obviously Andile Semalani also lost his wicket, but George Linde My word. 48 of 24 balls, three fours, four sixes, a strike rate of 200. He took South Africa into 183. And what an unselfish innings from him, because he had the opportunity to really get another milestone to his name, a half century to his name in this format. But instead, he didn't try and play it safe. He tried to go big and get more runs on the board. He tried to take us closer to 190. And by doing that, he lost his wicket. Unfortunately, that is the case from that. But I mean, George Linde was fantastic. And I urge all of you guys to go watch my exclusive with him that we did before after basically the day after he got selected. We did an exclusive interview at Newlands at training with him, where he gave us some amazing insight into these last few years, how he's prepared himself for the season, how he's felt about his non-selection in the past, and how he felt about being reselected again. He was really open, honest as he usually is with me. We spoke like we've obviously know each other for quite some time. I mean, I was one of the first people to interview him back in the day when he was coming through the Cobra system, so he's quite used to me, and that means that he normally opens up in interviews when because of that. So please go and look at that. There's a lot of insight into him as a person and him as a player, and it gives you a nice view, a holistic view of George Linde. And I think this is the time for us to be able to do something like that based on his performance today. It just gives you more incentive to go and do that. So please go ahead and check that out. I think that Pakistan bowled relatively well, actually. Um, Besides the fact that they came into two amazingly informed batters that basically bossed the middle to overs and the end of the game, um, they bowled really well to put them in a very strong position. I mean, they only bowled two extras in the entire match. That's incredible. In a T20 match, they only bowled two wides, two extras. Is mind blowing. And it's something that our bowlers need to look at. Shaheen Afridi was fantastic, 3 for 22, 5.50 economy rate. Abrar Ahmed was very good, 3 for 37, 9.25 economy rate. And Abbas Afridi took 2 for 30, 7.50 economy rate. I think the most expensive, obviously, was Shufian Mukim. He struggled today, 1 for 53, 13.25. He was the most expensive batter when it comes to, I mean, explosive bowler from a Pakistan perspective. Then Pakistan came out to bat and they actually had a very slow start, to be honest. And South Africa struck early with a wicket of Babar Azam. He could not get out of the starting blocks. He got 0 for 4 in 4 balls, zero strike rate. When you often see that happen. But Babar Azam takes his time to get started, and that's normally to his detriment. It can be to his detriment, or it can be to his advantage sometimes. There's certain times where that patience does get him the patience that he needs to be able to kick on later on. And unfortunately, he couldn't do that today. It was a poor performance from him, but Mapaka was fantastic. I mean, Mapaka's fastest ball today was 152 kilometers per hour. To have a left-arm seamer bowling at that pace at this age is fantastic, because I feel he can get faster. I really do. And he's a deadly bowler that we need to look after. We really, really need to look after Mapaka. He is a proper bowler. And it's someone that we really need to nurture. And I hope that he's looked after, and that they prevent him from getting unnecessary injuries, and they manage his career now as a youngster. We don't want what's happening to Gerald Coetzee to happen to Mambaka. We need to look after him. We really, really do. But yeah, their innings was also basically dominated by Mohammad Rizwan, I would say. But I don't think his innings was as amazing as maybe some of the commentators were making it out to be. He had a very, very slow start. He scored 74 of 62 balls, 5 fours and 3 sixes, under 19.35. Struggled at the beginning to get started. He wasn't But that's a Rizwan innings for you. I mean, Rizwan is the type of player that does kick on later on, similar to Rasif van der Dussen, you could say, in the past when he was in major form. But Rizwan had to play the knock that he had to play. I mean, he was losing wickets all around him, so he had to stick it in and try to bat as deep as possible. He was helped out by Saeem Ayub, who scored 31 or 15, 7 fours, strike rate of 206. But the other batters didn't really come to the party, and they couldn't support him as they needed. But even so, they managed to still push South Africa until the final over. They were still in the game until the final over. A fantastic bowling performance from George Linde again. I mean, he was superb. I mean, he took out Usman Khan, he took out, and then he took three in one over, almost took a hat trick. The ball was sliding down leg, so unfortunately he couldn't seal that hat trick. He celebrated it like it was a hat trick, but then the review overturned it. He took out Shaheen Afridi, he took out Irfan Khan, and he bowled Abbas Afridi, LBW. So overall, he was super. Best figures, 4 for 21 with an economy of 5.25. Man of the match performance from George Linde. But a special mention needs to go to Otniel Bartman, 1 for 26 today. Economy of 6.5, being as economical as he normally is. But Kwena Mapaka today as well. That final over, superb. Under pressure, of course, because Pakistan was still in it to win it, and he took the wicket of Muhammad Rizwan at the crucial time. Perfect timing for him. 2 balls into the final over. Absolutely magnificent from the youngster. And yeah, I've spoken enough about him, and I think I've sung his praises enough. But we need to give him the time also, guys, because there's going to be games where he's not going to be successful, and we need to just stick with him and we need to support him as a young cricketer. They are bound to fail at some point, and that's something that we need to remember with all our cricketers. We need to support them even when they are down and out. So yeah, that's my review so far, guys. I'm gonna get into the live chat right now and get into that and see what you guys think and what you guys have had to say about the game so far. I won't probably be able to get right to the top, but I'll try my best. Amit saying, why no Nokia? He had an injury, a toe injury, that's why. Brendan Shumba says Linda is some player. Brendan says Simalani, Pechlakwaya 2.0. I don't want to put them in the same bracket. I think Simalani is a much more classy player at the moment. We haven't seen the full extent of Simalani's ability. And I'm worried about it actually because they're pushing him now in this T20 white ball game. And I feel that the longer formats, I think, is probably his better format at the I would say. I think, yes, he's good at white ball cricket. I'm not denying that. But I think that the 4-day game is going to do wonders for his game and it's going to grow him as a player. 100% is. Waka says, well done, guys. Congratulations. Condolences there, Wakas. MBG3 says, Malani, don't judge too early. Probably his batting approach is questionable more. I don't think, yeah, we shouldn't judge him too early. We need to give him the time to grow. I think it's a little bit unfair on our Black African players because of restrictions and because of quota systems and all of those type of things. Our Black players sometimes get fast tracked into the national side a lot quicker because of the out of desperation sometimes. But Samalani, and I think in Samalani's case, he's such a talented player. I think he deserves to be looked at. But maybe perhaps just one season, maybe too soon into the Proteas setup. I don't know. Some people might say so. But he's going to have to learn on the global stage. That's just how the way the things go at the moment. But I think he's really brilliant, and he was definitely on my list of all-rounders that to look at for the future. Him, Mapungwana, I think those two players specifically are key players for South Africa's future in that all-rounders position. So we need to also nurture them and build their confidence and support them when they don't do well as well, because we are already sitting with an amazing player on our hands here. We just need to manage his career properly. I think the one major concern from South Africa's perspective is that we bowled 23 extras in the match. 4 byes, 9 leg byes, 2 no balls, and 8 wides. We need to clean that up. I've been speaking about it since before the World Cup already. That is a part in our game that is not really good at all. because there's going to be matches where that's going to cost us, and it has costed us in the past. We really need to clean that up, because look at, compared to Pakistan's bowling attack. Yes, they went for 183 runs, but they only bowled two extras, and that's something that we need to make sure that we can try and replicate for the future. It's poor from South Africa in that part, so we need to try and fix that. Lawrence Bailey says George Linde is him. Victor Impasang has blood on his hands. MBG3 says 23 extras. Time come to implement the Ray Jennings method to make bowlers extra round for each no ball. Gaurav says if Linda doesn't play again, then sack coach. Clearly showed why he's the best all rounder in the country. He needs to do this consistently now, of course. But yes, I think I've always been a supporter of Georgie. I mean, George Linda has been fantastic. Um, I've always been a fan of his. Um, and I've always wanted to see him in the Proteas setup. But because I knew what was happening with him, and I knew that things were happening behind the scenes, there were certain things happening behind the scenes, of course, that we all know about as well, that prevented his selection, etc. And because I knew that the chances at the time were slim for him to play, I kind of didn't want to go overboard and talk about something that I knew wasn't going to happen in that time. So it was difficult for me to talk about it, because I wanted to see him, but I knew he wasn't going to get selected. So it was a tough period, but I'm so happy that he's now been looked at again, and that he's gotten his opportunity, and he really has made it almost impossible for him not to be selected again in the future. It would be crazy for the coach not to pick this guy, really. Especially if you watch that interview with him that he did with me, he says it there. He even says it himself that he probably didn't do enough maybe to get selected in the past, but right now he feels that he deserves this opportunity. And he's 100% spot on. His last 3 seasons has been fantastic in all formats. Dex saying GF, Clock saying we all knew Georgie is a player. That means that Drum Lumber for no reason should be. 2007, MBG3 says 2007 Ray implemented that method and reduced no balls for the Proteas. Bevan Weber says Linda. PBG3 says Linda dropped was a surprise for everyone. Dex says that's what Linda can do. Lawrence says George Linda on this show a while back. I'm the best all rounder in the country. Yeah, we get the exclusive stuff here, guys. We get some great content here where players actually reveal a lot on the show. It's a place for you to be. It's the place for, if you're a South African cricket fan, I don't understand. I don't know what more I must do to get you guys to want to subscribe to this channel and click that notification bell, because we have put in a hell of a lot of work. I put in a hell of a lot of work over here to try and give you guys the best possible content in South Africa when it comes to cricket. So I'm going to continue doing so until we get our flowers as a community. PBG3 says Proteas should have won this game convincingly. Clock says, look at the crowd in Durban for the gimmick cricket. Why should CSA push for more tests when it's so clear which side their bread is buttered? It's true. It's crazy. It's a dilemma that we're having currently, but we're going to have to wait and see. Let's see how the Pakistan Test series is supported. PBG3 says Batman after 6 games, look at his performance. They should not, yeah, and he was a little bit rusty in his first 2 balls or 3 balls, but I don't understand the coach. This man should be the first bowler on the team sheet, literally, in my opinion. I don't know how he was not getting selected in previous games. Bevan Weber says Linda showing them he should have never been dropped. Marvel Skywalker says we need all-rounders like Linda. Bevan Weber says 3.5 years ago Linda was dropped because of that Q word. It wasn't actually because of that. There was other things happening behind the scenes that also influenced it. And yeah, he shouldn't have been dropped, and he should have been amongst the guys. You see, we didn't have that policy like we have now, where we give younger guys a chance and give them a time in the team. We didn't do that in the past. Now we are doing that. At least that's the one thing that I can say Rob is doing well, is that he is giving people extended runs in the team. Lorenzo Linde brings so much balance to the team. I just hope Rob gives him a consistent run. He should have never been dropped in the first place, but we all know he had issues with some at CSA back then. Yep, we all know that. Yeah, I mean, he even hinted at it in interviews on this channel. So RTV Football says, hit the like button, people. Yes, smash that like button, people. Clock says, and Abayomzi has yet to fully learn how to control his leg spin. Toughest thing to do in cricket, but I hope he sorts himself out soon. He's a youngster, he will learn. I'm sure if they get him some good coaching, he will improve and grow. He's at the moment mainly using um, speed variations more than actual spin variations and googlies, etc. So that can be added to his game. He's still young, and we know that especially leg spinners, they hit their peaks later on with more experience as they grow. It's very seldom that you get like a Rashid Khan coming through, like that is Khan from like a young age. Bevan Weber, why are they missing Horace van der Dussen around? Batted at 5 against West Indies and opening now. I don't think they're missing him around. They would have had a conversation with him, and he would have probably had the choice on what he wanted to do. And he's been opening the batting for the SA20 franchises and sometimes for the Lions too. So it's where he's been batting in recent times. So that's why they select him in that position, because that's what he's been used to recently. Bevan Weber says, how can you not pick Nokia? Oh, we know why. No, Bevan, Nokia didn't get picked because he had a little injury on his toe. That's why he didn't get selected. Follow us on Instagram, follow us on Facebook. You'll get those updates when the team gets announced. Aslan says, I know it's not something we should discuss. Yeah, but I was wondering if George continues to perform, he plays at 7, either Marco at 8, then we can't play more than 3 players of color. Black Orphans, Van Nokia plays 2. That's not how it works. There are no quotas for the World Cup, for World Cups, etc. They have to implement certain amount of quotas over a year. So it works over a year span across teams. So they will probably try and fill those numbers in the bilateral series that we play, because for World Cups there aren't any quotas. So we can have a lineup like that going into in a World Cup. They can pick up best players. In what Times Square says, Miller should not bat lower than 4 in 26 World Cup. I feel Markram, Ryan, Stubbs, Miller, Klaasen, Mulder, Linde should be a top 7. Miller at 7 and Mulder plus Linde will give us so much balance with the right-left combo. Also having a play like George Linde added into the mix just strengthens our depth profusely, because now it doesn't put the pressure on some of the other guys, and it gives us so many options. Just by having him in the squad, it just opens up so many opportunities for so many people. Basically, it gives us a nice depth. It creates an amazing amount of depth in positions, because now you don't have to force players into certain positions that they shouldn't be, because George covers a very pivotal part in that team. He plays a very important cog in that lineup he fills. So, I mean, we could have him at 6, we could have him at 7, we can have him at 5 even. George Linde is that good to be able to play anywhere there. And his game has just gotten better and better. His understanding of conditions, his understanding of his ability, knowing what balls to bowl when, knowing when to go now with the bat as well. He's becoming more consistent with that in all formats. So he's reaching his peak right now. He's in the best form of his life at the moment. It would be crazy for Coach Rob not to pick him. It really would. Sarfaz says, Khalid, you must be proud, as you really trusted Linde. So did I. Yeah, I feel really, really amazing about it. Volba says, chat, stop talking about who didn't play. Let's celebrate the great performance of Miller, Linde, Mapaka, and Peter. Spot on. Bevins is so proud of Linde, uh, proving some journos wrong when it comes to him and Bjorn. Um, you see, the thing about between him and Bjorn, they completely two different players in my opinion. Um, Bjorn is a spinner first, bowls in the power play, etc. Offers you something different. And George Linde is an all rounder. For me, batting first, in my opinion. I always saw him as a batter first and then a bowler. His bowling came along and grew as over the years. He wasn't a bowler first, in my opinion. I think he's more of a batter first. So you can't really compare them. Um, but when you're trying to fill that second spinner option, they're going to compete for spot. Unfortunately, that's how it would be. But I think this team is shaping up so nicely with the balance that we need. I don't think that George and Bjorn should be competing for a spot. It should be Donovan and George competing for that number 7, 6 position. That's how it should be. Stubbs at 3. Um, I mean, Markram's form. We have Aiden Markram as well. So there's so many options that we have available to us now, and that is how it should be. Um, could have, I mean, you can even strengthen the batting lineup even further by having George at 7. You know, if Aiden is in that top 3, and then you have Stubbs at 4, Klaasen at 5, Miller at 6. But I mean, the way Miller batted at 4 today, I mean, it really makes me think that we should have a look at that and have a think about that. Um, uh, Safa says Quina is the real deal. 149 kilometers per hour at the age of 18 years is unbelievable. I think his fastest ball today was 152 or 151 point something. So, yeah, brilliant that he's hitting 150 at such a young age. Arslan says, very impressed with Peter. He was turning the ball wee bit, and that's positive sign. He doesn't turn the ball a lot, but he's getting better and better as every series and every game that goes along. Let me get some of the final comments here, guys, because I'm extremely beat. And I still have to put up the match report. Sam says, Geoff Linde and the forgotten man. I remember him now. Sam says, Harley, don't know what Riza is doing in the team. Peter need to work on his half tracker issues, otherwise bowled well when he pitched it up. We are producing openers now that can bat a lot quicker than what Riza Hendricks can. I mean, we're gonna have to at some point start thinking about how we can replace him going forward. That's why I want to see some youngers get opportunities. For me, if you're gonna utilize Riza Hendricks, you don't have to play him in every game, every series. He can play just before the world, leading into the World Cup, so he can get himself into form, because he's at his best when he's scoring consistently. He'll go on a run and score you 4 out of 5 or 4 out of 6 50s. So the best thing for Riza, I feel, is maybe playing him just in a series before a World Cup, so that he can get himself into a flow. And then once he's on that flow, he's deadly and very, very difficult to stop. I don't think it's necessary to have to play him in every single game, every single T20 game that we play. Give some other guys a chance so that we at least have depth in the opening positions, is what I think. Is a 17 system, Malani and Peter need to improve much more. Yes, of course. Peter is bowling quick for spinner, and Samalani batting is terrible as of now. Doesn't know how to play spin. You see, Samalani for me needs more time at the crease. He's been given a role here where he needs to come out and smash, which I don't think is his natural game. That's not how he plays for his franchise. He normally bats with more time. So I would like to see that happen with him. I don't think this position right now is the best for him, but he's going to have to learn to adapt if he's going to play T20 cricket for South Africa, and that's unfortunately the way things are. Let me just get some of the last few comments over here. Michael says, I'm surprised that it took so many years for George Linde to be selected again. He was also injured a lot over the last few years. He speaks about it in the interview as well. So he was out for a couple of seasons as well. So that also made it very, very difficult. Bangladesh, 2005 says Ryan Marco. Huh? Ryan 1, Marco 2, Markram 3, Stubbs 4, Klaassen 5, Miller 7, Miller 6, 7 Linde, 8 Simalani, 9 Peter, 10 Gerald, and 11 Nokia. Brevis Ferreira, Breski, KG Mapaka, even. Who? Jason. Is it? I don't know. Evan Jones. In White Times Square, Ryan, Aiden, Stubbs, Miller, top 4 will give us right left combination. Um, right left combo, attacking game, stability, best players batting most, plus all round game, keeper, and maybe few overs in some conditions. Aslan says, I think they are playing Riza in bilaterals because there is no other T20 batter who is player of color or black African. It's possible. Shailen says Riza's got to go. Enough payback for being screwed over. Will never be good enough at this level ever. PPG3 says hardly is there any player who could replace Miller and Klaassen in a few years' time, and that's the big problem. I don't see a lot of finishers in the game in South Africa. We're producing a lot of top order batters, struggling to find a lot of all rounders that are consistent enough. So that's why when you have a player of George Linde's quality, you need to give him as many times as possible. Um, for me, I know Asabi says Stubbs, but Stubbs for me should bat at 3-4. He doesn't replace Miller as a finisher in per se. We could possibly see Deva Brevis occupy those positions until some of the other guys move on. If his spinning game can also take off, we could see him in like a 5 position until then. So it's very possible that could happen also. He needs to up his form and get into the swing of things and find himself again. Bangladesh's bowling and batting coach, white ball. We don't know at the moment. They're going to be appointing someone new very soon. PBG3 says when top order is going to give good start in the white ball. Yeah, we need to see that happening. Very, very soon we need to see that happening. I think in red ball cricket as well, our top order, well, these are openers specifically, haven't been performing in white ball cricket or in test cricket, and that's something that we need to sort out because that gives us a nice foundation for the rest of the team to bat around, and we don't have to have these match winning innings from match saving innings, I would say, from certain players. Those players can come out with a lot less stress and really play their natural games and become even more destructive with no worries behind them. But anyway, guys, fantastic win. Thanks a lot for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. We move on to the next one on Friday. I think it's on Friday. Yeah. And yeah, let's hope that South Africa can clinch the series in the second match so that we can experiment a little bit more in the third. So that's all I have for you guys today. Thanks a lot for being great in the live chat once again. Please, please, please subscribe. Click that notification bell for all future videos, please. And also share this with all your friends and family and anybody that you know. Share this channel with everybody else because this is a great opportunity for South African cricket fans to come together and have a community where we can speak freely and openly about the game that we all love. So please share it. And also, please, once I've ended the stream, comment in the comment section below. It really helps out the channel. It really grows the channel and gives us an opportunity to really spread our content far and wide. Thanks a lot for watching, everybody. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you again very soon with another live cricket show. Stay safe. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Enjoy this victory as much as you can, and I'll see you guys very, very soon. Peace out.